We're good. Everything's rolling, recording.
Watch this. Let me pull in this just before we do that.
We kind of give it a time to kill feel.
Extra sweat on that,
Yeah,
baby.
a little sweaty.
I asked Joel Schumacher if we like. I said, Joel, he'd since passed away. I said, Joel, what's the secret? Like, give me one common denominator in all your movies. And he stood up and he goes, went to a chalkboard, pulled a piece of chalk, and goes, S-E-X-Y, baby. Yeah, but that was extra spritz from Joel.
It's the Southern law scene. Like fucking if we're gonna do one,
let's do it.
Fucking roll his sleeves up. Do we have suspenders? Let's get the fucking guy some suspenders.
Yeah.
And fucking let's do a Southern fucking. Are we doing a Southern lawyer scene or what?
Come on, put a ceiling fan up there.
Yeah, fucking give me a ceiling fan.
Rotating.
Get a fucking cutaway to a guy in a hat. All right, well let me do an intro. Hey guys, it's Neal Brennan. It's the Blocks Podcast. I'm as surprised as you are about this guest. He was a hand model. I just read his book, so I know I have a lot of fresh information on him. He's a hand model. He only referenced 2 musicians in his books and his new book, and he's regular. He mentioned ZZ Top and John Mellencamp. He's exactly who you think he is, from what I can tell. He was in A Time to Kill.
Do you think the jury should convict Carl Lee Haley?
Interstellar.
Well, we used to look up in the sky and wonder at our place in the stars.
He was in, remember how they used to do True Detective Season 2? He was in Season 1, True Detective.
Time is a flat circle.
He was one of the True Detectives. And Dallas Buyers Club, which incidentally is what people heckle me with because I'm skinny. So in YouTube comments, they'll go, hey, Dallas Buyers Club. It's literally all free words. So it's exciting for them. It's a 2-bird with 1 stone situation. This is too long an intro. He's got a new book, Poems and Prayers, which I don't want to say I was dreading. I'm not a poetry guy. This isn't quite poetry.
Okay.
It is poetry, but it's also like whatever Benjamin Franklin was doing, like maxims.
Okay.
You called them prescriptions in the last book.
Yeah.
And I bet you've been thinking of them since you were 10.
Been thinking of them, and they've been coming to me, and I've been hearing them and stealing them and writing them down on my arm with a Sharpie on a matchbox, and now on notes and anywhere I can. And then I gather them all up and see if I find themes in the way I've been thinking over the last 40 years, 30 years, decade, 2 months, and put them in those silos. And this was the next thing that came out. But I hear what you're saying about they're not poems. I mean, look, they are poems, and I did, it's nice when you put a little rhyme to a prescription.
Yep.
Makes it a little easier to digest, makes it feel like we don't have to have our ID to get the beer. And if they can be a little musical or a little more, I find it has a little rhythm.
How long you been doing music in your speech patterns? I know the people.
I got asked that question this morning.
It's you. I noticed it. I've noticed it before I listen to the audiobook. It's a Southern thing, but it seems especially there's a special place in it for you.
I think it's even more of a rhythmic thing than a Southern thing, but I wasn't conscious of it. I didn't always probably speak like this. As I got more maybe confident with what I was talking about or knew what the hell I was talking about, I probably dipped into more of a bass line, and I do end my sentences on a little bit of what could be conceived Southern, a down note, which I'm told relaxes people, to then come in on a higher note and get going through, and then we'll end it up on a down note and fade out. And then it changes a little bit.
Do you pick parts based on it?
No, I think from studying scripts and going, what is the active word in the description? It's usually the verb. That's the living word.
In stage direction or dialogue?
No, and in like understanding, forget the stage direction. I'm talking about like in understanding who my character is.
Yeah.
Or, I'll think I've probably gotten a tendency to go, hit the verb, make the point, and that's the living word. Not on the nouns, not on the adverbs, not on the adjectives. Those are all just sort of tinsel on the tree. Hit the verb. That's the holy word.
You've been yourself probably from your earliest memories, right? Meaning you seem like there's not a lot of doubt. Maybe that's presently,
okay.
Maybe that's something you got to, but you seem pretty like set in who you are and not questioning it. Is that true? Is that
to a large extent? I think that's true. Now, even based on absolute malaprops and lies, and then sometimes just pure denial. Look, I thought I was Little Mr. Texas for 32 fucking years.
I mean, what does that mean?
Meaning I went to a contest in 1977, Bandera, Texas, went up on stage, rode on a horse, answered some questions about 4-H and shit, looked nice in my vest and everything, and all of a sudden confetti started coming down. They handed me a trophy, and my mom goes, "You did it, you're Little Mr. Texas." Took a picture.
But it turns out
3 days later, man, that picture was next to my breakfast table every morning. She'd be like, "Look at you, Little Mr. Texas." And there I was holding that trophy. A few years ago, that was in 1977, a few years ago, writing green lights, I find that picture and I got curious about what was on the nameplate, and I zoomed in on the nameplate and it was fucking runner up. So I was, in my mind, I was Little Mr. Texas. Did that give me some confidence and sense of identity to maybe walk out of the door a little more confident? Probably. Would I be sitting here if I thought I was runner up?
Yes. Well, that's what's funny about watching your stuff and then listen to the book and reading this one. And you are pretty much what I thought you were. And what I have a compliment for you, which is you're a good advertisement for human life. If I was like if an alien came down and they're like, who's having a good time? What's this being human thing all about? Yeah. I go like, we should show McConaughey.
Oh, I said,
because you are, it seems like you're having a really good time and you don't seem very racked with, I had a question, which is what's the most negative thing you hear regularly in your head?
Well, first, thanks for that compliment. I'm glad you see me as a good representation of a human life.
I do. I really do.
Cool.
I think most people would agree with that.
Appreciate that. Significance, biggest doubt. Significance. I know I need a accomplishment. I need to have finish lines to cross, to build towards and cross and continue building. Not to finish and then go, now I can rest. But I need to be on the approach, on the build. And on the way.
You need a destination.
Yeah, even though I know that I don't believe there's a final one. I've gone through enough times where I thought I could get something, success, money, and go, it's a ta-da moment. No, but bullshit. It's not. Family. No, it's not. It's a nice finish line. That can help give quality of life, but it's not it's not the finish line. Anyway, significance. The doubt and that I'll get with myself when I feel stagnant or don't have something that I'm building. I just took a vacation for 2 months. I got to learn to vacation, bro.
You weren't good at it?
I was okay. But you know when I got most relaxed? When I got on that Emirates flight, that was 11 hours straight, and I had a seat to myself, undivided attention, me and my mind to sit there and go back through the little jots, things where I only had little moments or an hour here along the vacation to write an idea down or to write something down. And when I had that 11 hours, I was like, this is heaven. And I was like, why do you feel that way? I'm not beating myself up or pissed off up, but I was like, you need to learn how to vacation better. You were there for 2 months. Mind you, the quality of it was great. Everybody, the family had a great time. I had a great time. We ate well. We had a good time. We danced. We slept well, all that stuff. But I was always like only 80% in.
Do you judge that part of yourself?
I'm trying not to, but I'd like to be able to be at home in my pastimes or doing nothing more or not having anything on my mind or being able to turn off my mind with maybe something that I regret that I could have done better that day, and maybe without the anticipation of wondering, did I do enough to prepare for tomorrow, what I got coming up, and just being able to trust, dude, you got it. You're human. Forgive yourself for that bogey today. You know what I mean? Not freaking perfect. Okay, you had to raise your voice. That means something wasn't taken care of before you had to raise your voice. But at least you didn't have to get past raising your voice. Okay? Shake hands on that, bud. All right, and tomorrow, dude, you aren't prepared. You're set. You don't have to, as I have that change in lanes, you don't have to put on a blinker changing your lane right now, McConaughey. Remind yourself and trust that what you've done, believe in what you just did a little bit more. I think most midlife crises are men that aren't giving enough credit to what the hell we did in the past. Instead of, oh, I got to have a whole new future. It's like, wait a minute, let me look back. What have I built to this point that's worth continuing to put log on that fire instead of, oh, what have I done? I haven't done enough. Everything I've done has been mendacious. Let me clear the plate and, get a tattoo, a fake boob blom and a motorcycle and start over.
Yeah, well, that's what's interesting. Because you're talking about kind of like maybe judging your masculinity or the thing that makes you do stuff, the thing that made you make money, build a career for yourself, take you from Little Mr. Texas, second place, to Academy Award, whatever, all that stuff. And then we go, well, there's a new thing where they've sort of changed the rules a little bit on men, I think a little bit, where it's like, no, now you have to be emotionally available and all this other stuff. And then we judge ourselves for that, for not being better at that. But at the same time, you're good at the physical builder, getting stuff done stuff.
And I'm not, my wife in our household, I don't get any of that pressure to be anybody other than.
Do you feel like cultural pressure?
No.
Okay.
No. Now, mind you, that's my relationship with my wife. And when I go out the door, she tells me, don't look over your shoulder. I got this. Now go fucking conquer. Go. She's the one that tells me.
Great.
Think you need to take a little solo trip out to the desert, bud. Like tomorrow.
How can
I've already
she
packed
tell?
my attention span's getting a little short. Maybe I'm not flowing with the conversations. I'm looking for that time to wait. Yeah. I'll be there in a minute. My edges are there. I'm not as cool with being able to just dance through the raindrops and handle more things in an eloquent and funny way. When my sense of humor starts to dip, where was your humor on that? You snapped. Now, usually, McConaughey, if you got enough sleep and you're all right in your head, you're handling that with a plum.
Right.
You're bouncing it back with humor, and we all laugh, and it wasn't a crisis. Ooh, you caught an edge there. You get enough sleep? Yeah, I'm getting enough sleep. Well, you're not getting enough time with yourself. If you feel like you need something, get out of here. So she'll pack up the car with the steaks and the water and the tequila and go, get out of here. Don't call me. Of course, that's the reason I do call her.
Right. Yeah.
And then she's right every time. And then I come back. I needed that. I wasn't as far behind or as far away from accomplishing something that I needed for my own self-significance as I thought I was. But thank you for that time that I got to go spend.
Reading the book or listening to the book, it was interesting thinking about how different the world was when you were a kid, when I was a kid, where a lot of it's physical, pretty violent. Like, you lived not like you lived in a violent world, but like your brother fought your dad, you fought the bouncer with your dad. Like,
you got in trouble, you got the belt.
Yeah. And you had a great line, which is, I don't know if it's your dad's or yours, but the conflict violence as a unifier. How does that, that's a different world.
Yeah.
How do you deal with knowing it's effective?
Yep.
And it doesn't scar you irreparably or if at all. How do you deal with being a dad? And also, how do you deal with just being a person in the world now?
Yeah, right. Look, we all know, and let's just talk about I'm going to stereotype men for a while. We all know there's things that we didn't do for fear of, if I pull that off, that guy might kick my ass.
Yeah.
If I do that and I get caught, I'm going to get the belt. There's things I did not do growing up that I should not have done, and I did not do them for fear of that ass whooping. Thank you.
I wouldn't have had that about religion, by the way, where it's like it's caused every war, and it's like it's also stopped so many people from getting punched in the face.
Yeah, well, there goes to the value of guilt that can also come with religion too. It is a bit of a bumper and a compass for us. But it was corporal. It was quick. My parents were like, "Look, we're not going to take away the most valuable thing in your lifetime. But damn it, just bend over and get it over with, and then we'll talk about it again." I remember I was telling my kids this story yesterday. I snuck off campus, me and Mike Bobo, who's since moved on. He was a high school quarterback, Longview Lobos. We snuck off, went to Sonic. We got back, and all of a sudden we get called to the principal's office. Well, what had happened is one of the teachers was at the Sonic drive-in and saw us and turned us in. So it's like, all right, D-Hall Saturday or Licks? Bobo took D-Hall. And I went, yeah, okay, D-Hall. And I got one step out of the door, and I started to hear the hazing that I was going to get from my brothers, my dad, and my mom at the dinner table.
What's D-Hall?
D-Hall, detention.
Oh, got it.
7 hours of your Saturday, right? And I step one foot out of the principal's door, and I can hear the hazing that I'm going to get hammered that night from my family. You did what? You let them take your set. And I went back and I said, Coach Schenkel, can I get the licks? Can I get the 4 licks? He said, yep. Bent over, bam, 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 bam. Walked out. And I remember my buddy who had taken D-Hall. I was like, that sucked for 20 seconds, but they got your Saturday, man.
Yeah.
And that was just, it was over. With no injury. It was a fear factor. It was a quick pain. I've had, in raising my children, if I have to raise my voice, my head's computing. What did you not handle to get to this point? What was not?
You think about your side of the street. You don't think about them.
Oh, I'm thinking about mine. What did I not hear? What did I not listen? What was not understood? Where could I have stepped in a calmer moment and helped them get to this before it got to where I'm having to say it for the 3rd time and raise my damn voice? I don't want to have to do it, but sometimes as a father, you got to get everyone's attention. Get your finger out of the socket. No, get your finger out of the socket. Gate, hey, pop, huh? Yeah. Those can save lives. There's a car coming, whatever that may be. I'm trying not to do it as physically as my parents did, and I haven't done it that way so far. Does it mean a lot more talking and explaining? Sometimes excessively, I believe. Yes. Does the because I said so argument, which was no argument, was a statement that I heard, is that sort of that not used anymore? Is that not coming out of my mouth because they want an explanation? And I've chosen to try and go, okay, I'll explain. But then you start to notice that, they're working me. They know. Well, yeah. They get the gig that how long can we talk? Yeah. And then what if then, and what about, well, what I meant was, and all of a sudden you're like, pretty good storytellers yourself. I know the gig. I've tried to weasel out of it just like that. Cut it. End of conversation. So how can you have the long ones that you need to have, and how can you have the short ones that are like, look, you know what you did? That's it. Cut the shit. No more. If you do it again, there's going to be major consequences. And the consequences don't just suck for you, they suck for me, because now we got to take time. We can't just say, yeah, we're all going Saturday. No, Johnny can't go because he's grounded on Saturday. So guess what? We got to call someone over to come hang around the house, a nanny, to be with you on Saturday because we're all going to go. And then you're going to be bumming when we're leaving. And we're going, so you're screwing it up for all of us, man.
Yeah.
We're trying to navigate that. And look, and each kid's different too. It's that old good Coach Brown saying, I'll treat you all fairly, but I won't treat you the same. Yeah. We got foundational rules in the house that we expect of each other and things that we got to do and pick up the slack in the team play. And we got one who likes to skate on those a little bit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And his brother and sister will pick up the slack a little bit. And I'm like, quit doing that. Or, if you got someone clean up the room and there's trash in the room and there's something they drank from last night in a half empty can, you're like, don't pick that up. Let them go ahead and keep stuff in the room until the damn roaches start coming. Let's let them, that's what's going to happen if they do this when they get out on their first apartment. So you're trying to balance between the two. And with my kids, well, I'm trying to keep them confident and being proud and honored to be McConaughey's and what their mom and dad have done and the access they get, but keep them from being entitled. And that's one of a personal thing that we, Camille and I, are dealing with as best we can with our kids and the influence that we have. And we got to stay on that.
Yeah, it can't be easy, right? I mean, it's every
your kids, hey,
flights and the food.
Yeah.
And
check this out. This 4 years old, my son, Levi, baby seat, second row. Car's taking us, black Suburban driver. The studio's flying us out to, and when the studio, we would take private. When the studio take us places, and then we fly commercial the other times. We only flew private probably 4 times, and commercial probably about 8. My kid's 4. When we would fly private, I wouldn't tell them we were going to fly private. It'd be a surprise, right? My 4-year-old son.
They hated TSA, right? They were like, "Fuck that! I gotta fucking take my shoes off." Why?
Well, it's close, but check this out. 4 years old, kid's taken 3 private flights in his life. We're pulling up to the gate. They now see it's private. It opens up Sherman Oaks. And my son says from the back, "Oh, yippee. I sure do like taking the black car to the little plane more than the yellow car to the big one." I'm like, Camille and I looked at each other and we're like, oh, shit. He's right, but okay. And then we've, said, okay, you're going to have to be good at something and hope the world demands it. Yeah, if you want to keep traveling like this.
They can get all sorts of entitlements till they're 18. And then when Then you got to decide how much rent are you going to pay, when are you going to kick in. When it's the then because they'll figure it out. They'll go like, "Fuck my debt."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, and it's not even. That's just what life is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be. I'm sure it's a hard thing to figure out, a hard thing to balance for you.
It's one of the challenges. I think we're doing a pretty good job of it. We'll see. They're good little human beings. I know that. They're, it's nice when they go out into the world and you hear from other parents and out in the world come back to you and go, hey, Levi or Peter, they tell you something that your kid did. And you're like, oh, I didn't think they understood that. They do. That got in. That's who they are. Good job, Camilla. Okay.
Okay. So you're little Mr. Texas.
Yeah.
And you were dating the prom queen from 2 different high schools, which is back in the 80s, guys, you could get away with it.
I would go over and pick up the one from the other school in front of their football team, while their football team went out to practice, and her ex of a week ago was the captain, and I'd be sitting there leaning against my car in her school's parking lot, waving at her, and
nobody suspected anything.
No, it was apparent.
No, I'm saying nobody called the other girl. No one called the girl from your school.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about on that one, man. I was.
You said it. You said you were dating 2 different prom. No, but that's how bad communication was back then. You just couldn't. It was like the turn of the century. You just couldn't get word. It was like transatlantic cables from one town in Texas to another. You couldn't.
Or the other side of town. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about charisma because you've got it. Kiddo, you one of the most charismatic people I can think of. If your daughter came home and she said, I'm dating a guy who's really charismatic.
Yep.
Let's say she knew what that meant, whatever.
Yeah.
What would you tell her? Would you tell her to be careful? What I'm saying is our charisma, the older I get, the more whenever somebody's charismatic, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
You're lucky in that all you're trying to sell me for the most part is a story. You're a movie, whatever, a book every once in a while, some poetry, a car.
Long before anybody paid me to drive one.
But turns out the Lincoln commercials were just a very well-paid poetry slam.
They were.
It turns out.
That's what they were.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta go back to actually move forward.
Haven't read these fucking Lincoln commercials. So talk to me about charisma. And what should the human being make of it? And do you fucking wield it knowingly?
Wield it knowingly. Oh, man. I mean, that's kind of like, let me say this.
Because it's fun to do.
Well, I don't know how knowingly I wield it. Look, it's like charm.
Same thing.
Okay.
Same question.
Okay. I didn't just start this. I'm winking at the great grandmother as quick as I'm winking at the newborn, as quick as I'm winking and as innocently as I'm winking at.
From age 6.
The girlfriend. I mean, it was pretty, it was like relationships and seeing the charm in somebody, seeing the beauty in someone and appreciating that. And in a non-sexual way, we're just sort of like a great way to like, I don't know, we were raised, my dad did it. Hey, buddy, we were a hugging family, a loving family, a jiving family. Hey, here you go.
Everybody kind of was in sales in the 70s and 80s.
Everyone was in sales. It's salesmanship.
Yeah.
It's probably inherently part of salesmanship. Charisma. If my daughter comes home and she was dating me or who I was at 15, I'd be like, oh, okay. This kid's got some confidence. He's got the gift of gab too. He's looking me in the eye. He's shaking my hand, give firm handshake. Yes, sir, no, sir. He even brought you home on time and all that stuff. Okay. All right. He's got his ducks in a row. I like that he's putting out that effort. He's got a gleam, man. But he's also, he does have gleam. You know what? I don't think this is a guy that's looking to lock down and get married right now. Mm-hmm. So just know that this guy's bouncing around and enjoy your time with him, but I wouldn't lock in totally with him right now. Maybe I would enjoy your time with him, but he's floating. He's floating.
How did you deal with that? Because I always say most men are just...
Until I wasn't too. Until I was completely wrong. Until boom, I fell in love and and got my heart broke, which happened many times.
Before your wife.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. No, I've had my heart broken as many or more times than I think I've broken hearts. I had an early one. I love you were words you didn't say. I'd said to 4 people in my life. And this girl, we'd been dating for quite a while. And that came out of
How old are
her
you?
mouth. I am 17.
Okay.
16, I'm sorry. 16. She's 18. And those words came out of her mouth to me one night. And what went over my body was completely wow. A week later, in response, I write her a note and hand it to her when I was dropping her off. Broke it with me the next day.
When you requited it.
Yep.
Lesson
I've had
learned?
a couple of those. Well, geez, I hope not lesson learned, but I probably have some of that the residual scars of that in me that I'm still probably shaking. I've had this one too. You ever overgifted?
I probably go on.
Okay. Another girlfriend, I go off in sophomore year, go off to Spain on the field trip to Madrid and I find this beautiful Yardrow and I get this great little trinket of crystal. Oh, it's perfect. She'll love that. But I've still got 2 weeks. I see a couple more things that inspire me. They go, oh, she'll love that. And she'll love that. And I wrapped them up all separately, 3 different gifts. And I came back. And one of those gifts were plenty.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to hang on to the other 2 for later, which would have been the smart thing to do in hindsight.
Yeah.
I gave all 3. It was too much. Next day, it broke up. It was too much. It was another version of the I love you. Not as probably sinister, because the I love you, as soon as I said it, it was almost like that gave that person a validation of, oh, got you. Bye.
So you felt like, because I always say, like, most men are not attractive to women. Women are they have very high standards for the most part. You're very, very attractive to women. Did you have to kind of keep that in mind? Like, most guys are just trying to get laid, right?
Right.
You're I would assume it was a lot of incoming business, as we would say. You're getting a lot of offers more than
I'm not getting a lot of offers, but I'm working. I'm chasing girls. I mean, that was, as long as I made my grades, other than that, it was party and chase girls. That was it.
As an adult, I'm talking about capital M, capital.
Well, I'm probably until 25. Something
age of 25.
Something happened at 25 where I wasn't okay with drop you off of the date. Now I'm going to go pick up. I'm going to the other side of town. I wasn't, even if they didn't know and I could get away with it, I was becoming uncomfortable with the dishonesty of it. So it just kind of didn't work for me. Now, I had times after 25 where I was dating 3 different girls, but I was like very open about that to each one. And, that's where I am. Or if uncool, please let me know. But as far as someone that I was dating and serious with, I became really wanted to be a one woman guy.
Like that was your goal.
Yeah. It's just where I was. It wasn't a goal. It's just what I found myself interested in.
And you had long-term girlfriends and how were you being a boyfriend?
I think I was a good boyfriend. Those relationships, I still respect those women very much. And I believe I'm still respected by them. Had some wonderful relationships with some wonderful women that we, with all sincerity, went quite far into getting to know each other and who we were. And, then there comes a time where you got to go, it's like, you want to do this? And that's another time to go, well, let's reassess where we are, what I need, what you need, what I want, what you want, what I am to you, what you are to me. And for whatever reasons, and those relationships didn't go further than that, but they went in, I use this term owners and renters mentality.
Yeah, I would too. It's funny because I wonder if women you've dated have heard you use the term owners. He was like, some is owning and renting.
Right. I was going into and I've had quite a few wonderful relationships where I was in for the ownership. Like, hey, this seems to have the promise and might have the possibility, and I really would hope that this could work out forever.
Yeah.
And got to a point where no, it didn't. But we wouldn't have known if we wouldn't have both believed that, man, this could be that.
May I ask what kept you from like getting married to
Right.
Camilla? Like what?
What kept me?
Yeah.
I was
'Cause you
a
were
little
together, you had
scared.
kids.
Well, I got kids, and I don't know. Do you know the story about Levi? What he asked me?
Yeah, it's in the book, but
Which
yeah,
is
tell-
cool. So things are going great with Camilla and I
One kid?
dating
One kid?
at this point.
Yeah.
Things were going wonderful. Now we always laugh about, hey, does it have anything to do subconsciously with the fact that her parents were married twice and divorced 3 times, and my parents were divorced twice and married 3 times? Does we have anything subconsciously that's saying like, I don't know about this marriage thing?
To each other. His parents were married and divorced multiple times. To
And
each other.
hers as well. But they ended in
Wow.
divorce. Same thing, just
Got
flipped.
it. Okay.
3 divorces, 2 marriages. So things were going great while we were dating. They really were. We were still growing and maturing in our relationship. Had a bit of pushback against this. Whatever it is, if I do it, I don't want it to be because, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Sign the thing legally. I don't want to get academic on the fucking reason we're going to get married. I want to play offense and want to do it. But I didn't. We were like, man, things are going great. She came across and what was it? What was the first move that she made? She did something that my mom did, which was similar to like, she handed my dad the invitation to his wedding and said,
Your mom handed the
and said, either let me know if you're going to be there or not. You got 12 hours.
to our wedding. Basically.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd been a knee and proposed. And she said yes, and that was on Christmas Day. But then we were just engaged, and engagement was another step forward of closeness. But it
And
was
she
like
was
I wasn't
pregnant,
setting a
right?
date.
And she was pregnant.
She gets
Not
pregnant
yet.
along
Okay.
here now with Livingston, our 3rd. And so now, I remember saying, she handed me the invitation to our wedding. It was like, when are you gonna-" and I was like, oh, great. And I was on, she always jokes with me, like, you were like, great. I said, I was. I just needed to, I'm glad you threw the date out there because I was just rolling along. Oh, yeah, we'll do it over here. We'll do it over there. And she gave the date. I said yes. And she was also like, look, and I'm pregnant. And ain't no way I'm dressing up in my wedding gown and with any kind of bump down here on my belly. So we're gonna do this. And I'm glad she did. She pushed me to it. I wanted to do it, but just had not set a date before. My son, though, what led me to asking her to marry me was he comes into me one day, again, around that same age when he was like, I like the black car of the small plane better than the yellow one of the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Comes and he goes, why is it Mama McConaughey?
You're like, this motherfucker.
That's exactly what I was like. Well, I mean,
Square ass motherfucker.
While I'm bumbling through this answer that I want to be really good because I'm probably going to remember it, he goes, are you scared? And I went, yeah, I am a little bit. And that really got me thinking. I started to have talks with different husbands and men and elders that I looked up to who had long marriages. I started to have a talk with my pastor, Dave Haney, in Austin, Texas at Riverbend Church. And he began to challenge me with going like, oh, hey, I'm not going to say yay or nay, but let me ask you this. What's the bigger risk? To continue, which is going great, or to say, no, I want to take a dive deeper and go on an adventure and make a covenant between us and God and go forward on that adventure. And that scared me in the right way, where I was like, oh, if you don't get married to this woman, because there was no question if she was the woman for me in my mind and in my heart. There's no one else I wanted to be with, no one else I wanted to have children with, no one else I wanted to wake up with. All of that stuff completely added up. There was no reticence anywhere there. But that challenge, and then going, that's it. You're being a bit of a chicken shit, McConaughey. This is the woman. Yes, this is who do it. Take the next step. And I asked her to marry me and things. She said yes. And then we went on. She set the date. We got married, and that's been 13 years. And we've known each other for 19.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hey, I know we want to believe that anyone is qualified to everyone's kind of a therapist now. Everyone's kind of a dietitian. Everyone's kind of, because, University of Wikipedia and YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff. But look, most people are not experts, especially when you're talking about relationships, anxiety, depression, or other clinical issues. I got to be honest, they might not know what they're talking about. Instead, get guidance from a credentialed therapist online with BetterHelp. Look, guys, I have a few group chats I'm a part of. They're very funny people, and they give very funny advice, but it's not so practical. They're not thinking long-term. A lot of times they're thinking spitefully. They're thinking vindictively. They're thinking what they would want to do if they were in my position. You can't trust them. BetterHelp, on the other hand, has been helping people find their match for over 10 years and has a 4.9 rating out of 1.7 million client session reviews. They got quality therapists. They got BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the United States. They have a therapist match commitment. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and their 10 plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. But if you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist anytime from their tailored recs. Recs is a cool millennial word for recommendations. Millennials used to be the young people. Apparently, there's a new group of younger people. Here's the call to action. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/NEAL. That's BetterHelp.com/NEAL. Go on, do it now. You're losing your mind. I travel a lot. Sometimes I'm in LA, sometimes I'm not. When I'm here, I have certain things I like to eat, and I get them from CookUnity. Basically, it's a service. It's like a bunch of different chefs with dozens and dozens of options. You order like a week ahead. They have about 300 small batch meals, and you can tailor them to your dietary needs, your cravings. It's not frozen. It's ready-to-eat meals delivered directly to your door by going to cookunity.com/NealFree, NEALFREE, or enter code NealFree before checkout for free premium meals for life. Incredible. They have a vegan pasta. I believe it was lemon with like cashew cheese. That was really good. I get burritos that are really good. They have Impossible meat stuff. They have tofu stuff. They have chickpea stuff. Of course, they have steak, chicken, meat, fish, the stuff you like to eat. They have individual chefs so the chefs aren't making a billion things. It's like it's a bunch of chefs making a few things that they excel in. You don't have to cook. You don't have to shop. You don't have to really think. Once they deliver, you're good. Fuel your day with the freshest, best-tasting meal delivery made by award-winning chefs. Go to cookunity.com/NEALFREE or enter code NealFree before checkout for free premium meals for life. That's free premium meals for life by using code NealFree or going to cookunity.com/NEALFREE. cookunity.com, NealFree. Reading the books and the two books, do you see, I was thinking about you and tell me if it's true. Do you see morality and or behavior as kind of a game? And I don't mean like a frivolous game. It seems like it seems like you game things out. Like, what's the braver thing here? Right. What's the harder thing here? And if you can fold this in, you made a difference between a nice guy and a good man.
Yeah.
Talk about all that.
Yeah, man. So in the way you're stating, do I see it a game? Absolutely, with an outcome. And there are choices we can make that have to do with morality and ethics that may mean sacrifice now, but reward greater tomorrow. In this life, practically, forget heaven or not, whether that exists. There are larger paybacks. There are choices on the simple basis of making the right choice with strangers that you unbeknownst don't even know, but you're building an army of people that got your back in a dark alley somewhere that you didn't even know you knew. Yeah. I believe in that. There are also very conscious ones. There are transactions that can lead to transformations. I mean, I think arguably, it's kind of hard to say every relationship's not somewhat transactional. It doesn't mean you're stealing from the other one. It just means, hey, man, please use me, and I'm using you, and we need each other.
I like your energy. You like my energy.
Do I measure those? Do I compute in my mind certain things that I go, if I do this now, it's going to be great. But I'm going to have a proverbial hangover tomorrow because it will take me to the debit section with my wife because she's leaving in 2 days and I haven't been able to spend time with her. And I know I want to go to this game, but if I go to the game, she's going away for a week. It's going to hang over us, or whatever those decisions are. I'm measuring all these other things.
You've always done it this way? So because reading the book, I'm like, is this how he remembers it? Or were you actually, do you make calculations like this in fairly real time?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe it.
I think I do. I mean, I have measurements like this, instead of, well, you did that, you clean the dishes, or you did that, you make the bed. What do you mean, man? I mean, you know what? Camilla, you don't, for instance, you don't like cleaning dishes. I don't like it, but I really don't mind it. Like, it's an 8. It's one of the things you really don't like. It's kind of a 4. I'm like, fuck, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I mean, instead of playing the tit for tat away, you ought to, make the bed. Well, yeah, no, I should make it. I'm the last one out of bed. Thank you for letting me sleep longer because you don't want to be around me with less sleep. I'm making a bed. That kind of thing. So just add up instead of going like, well, who's supposed to do what? Going, well, how much do you not want to do it and how much do I not want to do it? Neither one of us want to do it, but it's got to be done. It's kind of a 4 for me. It's a 6 for you. Shit, I'll do it. So I'm always trying to measure those things.
But there's a bigger game, like you were saying about earlier, about like what's the significance? Like what are you building toward? You seem really aware of that.
Right. Building towards more harmony, building towards seeing my wife be able to have a great gap tooth, wet-eyed smile because she's relaxed enough and feels secure enough with me and her and how the kids are doing and how the household's going and what she's got going on in her life, that she's gotten enough time with her and that she's gotten enough time with me and the kids, that she's got her space, that I call it Scooby, the way she moves. You can just tell, I can tell by the way she moves through a room. Oh yeah. Oh, you're doing good. Uh-huh. We're in a groove here. And I know I'm part of her groove and she knows she's part of my groove. If I'm leaving to work and I have regrets about some way that I've left my wife, or the last thing I said maybe was cutting or something, and I find I'm on the phone going, hey, sorry, but that was a bogey, man. That came up. Because 1, it's better for us, and I mean to say I'm sorry. But 2, selfishly, I'm going to have that in my mind all day at work. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to be completely present sitting here talking to you if I go, I got a firestorm back home, boy. When I get out of here, I got to go handle this shit. I'm not going to be here as much.
Yep.
So I'm doing it selfishly so I can be more present, but I'm also doing it because it's going to be better for my relationship. And you know what? You could have handled that better, McConaughey. So you in the moment you were playing to win. Yeah, you won. Big shit. What does that get you? Walking around now I'm more stressed. Now I'm looking on my shoulder, regretting. Now I've gotten the longer with each minute I'm away, my wife's getting a little more unhappy and perved with me. Maybe she's even going to get cold and act like, no, it doesn't matter. Oh shit, that's even worse.
Yep.
Now we're leading up to, it's going to be a big sit down to clear the air. And instead of just, dude, handle it. And saying sorry, was not something that I grew up around hearing a lot. And my hunch now, and I'm trying to practice, is, dude, don't make a big deal of the I'm sorry. Use it at will. Don't use it flippantly, because if somebody's saying sorry too much, you're like, dude, we'll change your freaking behavior. But use it as a hey, sorry about that. My bad. I didn't want to intended to do, but I didn't consider how it would land on you. How that hurts you means a lot more than how much I needed to say it that way. My bogey, sorry. Easy. Let's move on. That doesn't need to be a 45-minute sit down to discuss that. Let's just use that. My bad. Bogey. It can be part of the open vernacular now. And I think I find it's easier and life's more harmonious in relationships when we do that.
But that's interesting because, again, you seem so solved as a guy. You seem so like, McConaughey, man, everything's good. All right.
All right.
We're going to go. I got to go. I got this. I got a cold beer. Like, it all just looks fucking resolved. Everything's happily ever after.
Oh, shit.
So it's good to hear.
Oh, you're hearing the construction.
Yeah, I'm hearing that you are impetuous, that you do say cutting shit to win, and your wife does get mad at you, and then you do get preoccupied with like, I got to resolve that. So, and it's not all the calculation of what's the good man thing here and it's you fuck up all day.
Sure.
Like everybody.
Yes. Yeah. And I work hard to find my balance. And when I am not working hard to find my balance and being considered that My balance has to do with a lot of other people's balance, especially my family and the balance of our family or the balance of my relationship, for instance, since we're talking about relationships. If I'm not working that hard, if I'm just standing sturdy, I'm good. Well, that's when I start mistaking certainty for selfishness. I'm a fan of the right kind of selfishness, but this certainty, son of a bitch, ooh, that can be where all of a sudden I'm like, no, that's how it is. What part of this do you not see is that's just how it is. Uh-oh. So I can mistake my own certainty, and that's where I'm like, oh, you're coming in too solid. You're coming in too on bound. You dug your heels in. You're overconfident. You're overcomfortable. You are resolved. Well, guess what? Congratulations, but fuck you. You know what I mean? We got a family here, man. You don't know where my day's been. You don't know where my family's been. And you know what? Just because you're riding high and everything's great and you got your 9.5 hours sleep and your movie opened up big this weekend and you didn't have writer's block and da-da-da, you're feeling good about yourself. You got to get yourself a little workout and exercise. Guess what? I didn't. So, Mr. Solid on your shoes, bam. And I got to get reminded of that sometimes too.
Do you see yourself as more servant or leader with the family?
My first response is to say leader, and my wife is the day-to-day, hour-to-hour, behind the scenes, one-on-ones with the kids and me, looking after, anticipating our needs, having real talks about it, on the ground leader of that. She very much respects me as patriarch and her as matriarch, and that understands and said, like, you go out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You handle this. And is she making a sacrifice? Yes. Would she absolutely say, and I'm absolutely for the sacrifice because it gives me so much more. She said that 100 times and means it. We still have to balance times where does our life and what comes to us from the outside world can come through the filter that comes through Matthew. The word outside, you know what I mean? I'm out there and it comes back in through like it's all me. Now I have to watch that, and I have to catch that sometimes because I can find myself liking that. But I also have to catch it and go, you wouldn't have had that freedom to be able to go and pull that off unless this foundation was being handled and run by that woman right there. And so even little things of reminding myself to go, it's funny how even little small words can do so much. Just to use the royal we. So simple. And to mean it with humility, but also in recognition that a lot was done. I usually do realize, sometimes I do forget, but I usually realize of how much around me that I've got built that allows me to go play offense. And go deep and go out and then come back home and all of a sudden see if we get rewarded for that or not. And when we do get rewarded to go, hey, this is us. I went out there and did it, but this was us. Y'all came with me to location for 3 months, and me getting to see you in the morning before I go to work and first thing when I get home from work and sit down and have dinner together and then hang out on a Saturday allowed me to be present at my job every day. And if you weren't there and I'm FaceTiming you all the time and going, oh, it's not as good as being in person, I wouldn't have been able to do what I did as well. Thank you for that.
And they do it without much complaint and not without,
There's some more resistance now that they're getting older.
Yeah.
But when we look back, it's been some of our best times to go on location, foreign location, rent a house, take the dogs. We all go there. We're going to homeschool or plug them into school there where they are for that amount of time. And it's going to revolve around the job. We're going to put them to work on the set. Levi, this last set, was in camera department for 2.5 months before we got in front of the camera. Levita's worked in wardrobe. So we try to get them around the set to get some jobs and stuff. And they have a great time. Now that the kids are getting older, though, I'm going to find it tougher to be able to, if Camilla and I decide to, pull them, say, if I got a job in Reykjavik, it's can be hard to pull 3 of them. Yeah, Leva's on the football team. Leva's on the dance team.
Yeah.
Leva's got a little social thing going. Soccer's coming up. It was easier earlier. But I don't know if I've ever shared this story that you've heard, but I did ask before we had kids. Camilla's sort of before she pulled goalie to say, trying to have kids. She said, if you go, we go. And I remember having this wolf coyote in my head, thinking in my head,
coming
looking
on the
at her
road with
going,
you.
yeah. And I'm looking at her like going, in my head going like, and I'm solo, man. I'm artist, man. I go off my Airstream. It's me and my dog. I live in parks outside, man. That's how I roll. And as I'm saying this, I'm looking at him going like,
speaks for itself.
You dumbass, you better say yes, ma'am, right now. And I went, yes, ma'am. And so glad I did. Now, I talked to quite a few men in the business of Hollywood who had children while they worked. And I said, what'd you do when you went away? And they all said, well, with the kids, it's either friends or dad. Because these were all men, fathers. And they all said, I chose to let them have their friends.
What's that mean?
Meaning, stay home when I go to work. Stay with your friends in your circle. I'll go to work. See you in 4 months. Every one of them said if I could do it again, I'd do it the opposite. They all regretted it.
Yeah.
They said they fell out. They didn't have the relationship with their children anymore because of that.
Yeah.
And so we flipped it and said, coming with. And sometimes you got to take them dragging a little bit, but once they're there, they're fine. And hopefully it's helping them with adaptation and things like that. But that's been a big choice that we engineered that helps me and the whole family quite a bit feel in order, so to speak, or as you said, somewhat solved. It helps to stay closer to the solution.
Yeah.
At least.
Okay, with that in mind, we mentioned the good man, nice guy, good man. But I'm interested in it in that in the rom coms you did.
Yeah.
I like the way you put it. It was like playing Saturday.
Every character was a Saturday character, flip-flops, you know?
Hi. Thank you, babe.
It's such a funny way to put it because it's like Saturday, and because that's how it read. You just come in like, what's going on, darling? There's a mild problem.
Yeah.
She was always supposed to be with me.
You got a mild solution.
What's his occupation? Who gives a fuck?
Fucking,
Anyway.
he's an architect. I don't know. Fucking something. It's just a
Put
prop.
him in advertising.
Yeah, it's a prop.
Guys, let's take a break. A little coffee, 9-ball.
You do Time to Kill. You go from like off to on, not very famous to incredibly famous. When you look at the choices you made, and then you end up just kind of in a rom-com, we'll call it a ghetto for lack of a better term, that you had to intentionally stop to get out of. Do you wish you made different choices? Obviously, everything's great.
Right. Do I?
But like some of the thing where you go, man, I should have fucking taken that. I wish I knew. Do you wish you'd been braver then? Or is it just like the process had to be what it was?
Look, that's a great question. And I'm going to try and go past, if I can, past a great answer that makes it sound like, oh, okay, well, that's intellectually sound, but do you know that now and you didn't know it then?
Yeah.
But
you were being a good guy, basically. You kept playing good guys, kind of.
I kept playing nice guys.
Nice guys, sorry.
Nothing wrong with the nice guy, but look, and I don't look, there's one film, there's one role I ever turned down that I regret in the entire history of my 54 films. LA Confidential.
The Guy Pearce part?
Like, great movie. I think it was the Guy Pearce part. I think it was Curtis Hanson came to see me in Canton, Mississippi while I was working on Time to Kill. Now, mind you, I was working on A Time to Kill in the middle of my first lead role. I was reading something, but I was like, I don't know. I was so enveloped in this other thing that I wasn't able to look at something and go, that would be a great thing for me to do later. I was in the middle of something and I was like, this is my whole world. Anyway, that I turned down, and that would be the one I regret because I really like that movie. I never stopped to have, I don't know if it's maybe just not how I think. I'm on to the next about what can be the next move. So I never regretted, and my objective mind would have told me, you have no right to be as arrogant as to regret any fucking move you've made. So don't you even go there. Selfish little prick if you do that. What's the next move? Onward or out? Or maybe you just need to sit still and enjoy this for instance, rom-com life. I had a great life, man.
Yeah, he lived in the Chateau Marmont for 16 months, apparently.
Laid down
and rode a
120
motorcycle.
grand and bought leather pants and had a key to the kitchen.
So, no further questions. Yeah, like literally had a key to the kit. He was doing it right.
Yeah. And I gave myself that time. And also I had the beach house. So I'm doing rom-coms. I'm on the beach every day. It's sunny California. I'm out with my shirt off. It's looking like every time you open a magazine, there's McConaughey shirtless on a beach again, living a freaking life.
And it looked that way because that's what was happening.
That is what was happening. That is what was happening.
Yeah.
And wow, I did it. I got to that point where I could live there and live that life. Outstanding. I was still healthy. I wasn't screwing people over. I wasn't being mean to women. I was still a good guy. But it was getting a bit revolutionary. It was going in circles. And the rom-coms would kind of be just like the last rom-com. It was just like the last one.
It's all the same poster in my mind.
We know what it is.
You
Boy
got
meets
your
girl,
back to
the middle,
Kate Hudson or
kinda
somebody.
Screw 'em over. Boy chases girl at the end, catch a credit roll.
Yep. Saturday,
flip-flops.
Yep.
Don't,
Here, okay, but here's my question. There's somebody I read a long time ago. Art works in the following way: the depth from which it emanates in you is the depth to which it travels in other people.
Right on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you not think you were capable of something deeper? Because you went to film school. You went you know what I mean? Like,
no, I thought I was. Now, did I need some affirmation at that time? Like, oh, do I still got it? Did I lose it? Have I become just an entertainer? Am I just the nice guy, the nice, handsome guy in the rom-coms? And also, I remember catching myself going, before you start poo-pooing that, man, look in the fucking mirror. What's wrong with being an entertainer? Look at the life you're living. It's
Dean
fun.
Martin.
Don't trip yourself running downhill just because it's enjoyable and it's
Cary
light
Grant.
and it's easy.
Yeah.
It's built. They're supposed to be lightweight. Now,
Cary Grant never lost any weight to play a part.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was like, he's just like, I'm just going to show up, be Cary Grant.
Okay. Now, as I've seemed to have done over many times in my life, though, there comes a time where I start creating resistance in front of me to make myself sweat a little bit or make myself bleed or make something hard for myself, to go away to Peru or Africa. Those trips were a lot about in this time where I'm famous and my notoriety as being famous or a rom-com guy precede me. Okay, and it's the mirror of the reflection I'm getting back from everybody. I needed to go away to go, can I meet some strangers, spend 22 days with them, and I want to see what our goodbye's like. And goodbye 22 days later is tears from their face because they're saying goodbye to the man whose name is David, I went under, who they don't know what film, they've never seen a film, don't know I'm famous, don't even know what I do, never asked. But their tears of saying goodbye are based off the man they met 22 days ago and spent time with. I still got it. I needed that.
Life force, human life force is what you're talking about.
Anonymous from all the fame and anything else outside of who the heck I was.
Spirit to spirit.
Yes, straight up. That's the math I would also needed sometimes because you need to go away and go, let me cut the wheat from the chaff here, man. I'm not sure what's bullshit, what's real. Believing the really great stuff feels a lot better, but how much of that is fluff and bullshit? And then believing the negative stuff's not that fucking fun, but sometimes they got a good point. So I remember grabbing all of every ask my publicist, get me every negative review that's ever gotten. It was a thick folder, and I took it away for a weekend. Nothing but the negative ones.
He had to get 2 Sherpas to carry the negative. There was a lot. The knives were out for McConaughey.
I sat down with them for a weekend. And a lot of them, was like, this cat wrote this before I got it. They didn't like me. This thing was written before they ever saw my performance. Other ones was like, got a good point. Did rest of my laurels there. Did kind of repeat the same thing again. And I kind of, okay. Anyway, to continue to answer the question of what that felt like. I had met Camilla at this time during the rom-coms. I fall in love. I saw her move across the room that night. I was like, what is that? Bam. Everything that I saw in that image turned out to be true upon closer inspection and getting to know her better. She's now pregnant. First child. Now, I've said it in the green lights. Was the only thing I ever knew I wanted to be. What did I think? I've always thought success is being a father.
Yeah.
I remember shaking those men's hand at Oak Forest Country Club parking lot. Had shades on. The sun was behind him in my face. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, sir.
Real man.
And I remember going, oh, all of these people that my dad's making me say sir to, the one common denominator is they're all fathers. And I went, oh, that's it. Oh, that's how you do it. That's success. So she's pregnant. So all of a sudden, man, my life's getting vital. I'm falling in love. Not rom-com love, real love. I'm loving more. I have more joy, more tears, more deep anger, more hate-filled rage of what I'm standing against, what I will stand for, what I won't. All of a sudden, life is about to expand. I'm going forward with someone more than just me. Now I'm looking to the future for the first time. No more one-way tickets. I got a partner, and I got a dependent coming along the way. Oh, here we go. Here we fucking go. Let's get it on. That's drama. It can be absolutely hilarious, but that's drama. Drama, the ceiling and the basement. How do you feel about it? That's the question in the drama. That's the question in life. How do you feel about it? Show me. Action. That's what's great about a drama.
Right.
And no one can go, well, no, you can't hate that hard. You can't yell that loud. Or no, you can't be that happy. In a drama, no, it's like, how do you feel about it? In a rom-com, it's compressed. No, don't get that happy, Rose. And no, don't get that mad because it'll drop the anchor. You'll never make it back. We got to keep this thing going in this bandwidth.
Yep.
Right? So my life is going, yeah. And my work's like, well, I kind of feel like I could do it tomorrow. My life is, I'm scared, man, in a good way. I'm fired up about where life's going. When my work's like, I can do that tomorrow. It's safe. So I'm like, I wish my work could challenge the vitality of my life. And I remember looking in the mirror going, before you poo-poo that, be glad that's the order that it's in right now and not the other order.
Yeah.
All right. So let's be thankful for that part. And I'm trying to, I want to do dramas, trying to get them. Nobody's offering. Hollywood says
and
no,
you're turning down rom-coms up to $15 million.
That $14.5 million one comes in. And I've said this before, but I do think that was an invisible bullet through Hollywood of the message that I was putting out. Because that was 15 months into my walkout and saying, I'm not doing any rom-coms.
And you're like, I might not work again. And you got a baby at this point?
I've got a baby at this point. We have Levi. He's born. And as much as that's anchoring me, it's still not filling up all my significance, which we were talking about earlier. I'm not doing anything. I don't have a craft. I'm not building anything on my own. I don't have any art that I'm building. I got a son. I know at any given time, if I go spend time with him, that there's no better time to be spent. I know that's not tomfoolery time, but when I'm on my own, I'm going, so what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I creating? Right now, not what I'm going to fucking become a stoner and make wind chimes. No, that's not going to get me off. You know, the bottle over there is looking good a little earlier in the day, man. You know, all of a sudden it starts slipping back. 4 p.m., you got to look in the mirror for a second. Go, hang on a second. You know what I mean? Where's my purpose?
Yeah.
What am I doing? That amount of time goes by. I turned down that $14.5 million offer. I think around that time, after saying no to all rom-coms and not getting offered any of the other dramas I wanted, I think the shift was Hollywood sort of goes like, this fucker's not bluffing. He's up to something. The turning down of the 14.5, I think made me more attractive because it was an offensive move to say no to that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I've just gone out and anyone come find me. I'm just waiting, whatever. I had a plan. And I think someone goes, he just turned down that for 14.5, which was like, and trust me, my brothers were on the side of Hollywood. They're going, what's your major malfunction, little bro? What are you fucking thinking? And I was like,
Yeah.
no. I when I made this decision, it was true in my soul and I'm going to stick to it. And I'm at 20 months of nothing. Ring. Hey, what about Lincoln Lawyer? What about Killer Joe? What about Paperboy? What about Mud?
Yeah, you make it, the way you said it is like you became an interesting idea.
I became a new, good idea, novel idea.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen me in the theater in a rom-com.
Yep.
Hadn't seen me shirtless on the beach. Where the fuck is he?
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Long enough, gain enough anonymity. And again, not to rebrand, but to sort of unbrand. I don't know what he's doing or where he is. That all of a sudden, You know, it'd be a good idea for this Killer and Killer Joe or this drama.
Yeah.
What about McConaughey? Oh, that's interesting. All of a sudden it became interesting. 2 years before, not interesting.
Were there people you were jealous of? Would you look at like Christian Bale and be like, fucking, I could have, I mean, not to get
Good
specific,
question.
but
No,
like,
good question. I'm sure I did. God, I'm sure I did. I was not 100% above being jealous at that time. Even though when I would get jealous, Jiminy Cricket would go, there's nothing constructive about that. That doesn't pay off. Fucking stay on your own path. But I know I did. And I won't say names.
Yeah.
But I did have some jealousy. Yes.
was there anybody you could call for like solace or like, help me not take this offer? Were there people you call and they'd be like, dude, I've been there. So you were just fucking on your own.
Deadhead Red. Camilla, I had supported her when we said I was going to make that choice to say no more rom-coms. And she goes, well, Matthew, that means like this may be a dry spell for who knows how long. And she goes, oh, you got to be prepared. We have to be prepared for the long haul. This be us being in a desert because we're going to do this. There is no going back. And I was like, that's the deal. There is no going back. And so that question was never negotiable. It was clear. Nope.
You know what's interesting reading the book was your prep for Wooderson. In the book, you'd never really done. You'd done student films.
Yeah.
You end up in Dazed and Confused, but you seem to prep for Wooderson like somebody with training.
Yep.
And you're 19 or something. Did you have any training, or this is just what your brain did?
No, I had the instincts for it, but I didn't know what I was doing. I kind of learned what the hell I was doing in reverse. I didn't get with someone who knew acting and was my great mentor, Penny Allen, who's since moved on. 17 years we worked together, and I didn't know what it was I was doing until I started work with her in 1998.
So then you look back, because can you tell that's like prep for Wooderson? Like you go there for a costume thing, and Linklater's like, "What are you getting this scene?"
Yeah.
Which is that's a good sign generally.
Real good sign. Look, there was that image of through my 11-year-old eyes of my 17-year-old brother in the smoking section leaning against the wall in the shadow with a lazy finger cigarette. When my mom and I were supposed to pick him up because his car broke down, and I went, and as I didn't say his full name because I didn't want to say his name because he would have gotten in trouble for smoking. And as the car pulled away, and he was already 100 yards away, and then slowly 150, 200, as he went further into a long lens, that image, I was like, that's the coolest fucking, that's my big brother. That's the coolest fucker I've ever seen. So Wooderson was who I thought my brother was at 11 in the smoking section while he was 17. So that image, not already, when I say lazy finger, you're already, shoulders do one thing. Who's that guy? Is that guy leading with his head, heart, or cock? He's leading he's leading, waist forward, man. He's like, and then Linklater writes this great line. That's what I love about those high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age. Now all of a sudden I'm going, what if that's not an attitude? What if that is this guy's credo, man? What if this guy believes that? That's his religion more than his politics. Well, it's not a cute line. Which then leads to, in that scene, I think Wooderson has stepped forward, like to the curb, and kind of said it to the universe. Like,
No, man, I tell you. That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
yeah. And not like something to make someone laugh or not something to snide or sneer. Like, that's the way I see it, man. So you get those, I've talked about launchpad lines, you get certain ones, and if you understand them and go, you understand that line? You know who believes that line? If they believe that, you know what they're buying in 7-Eleven, you know what they got in their fridge when they get home, you know what they're eating, who they're hanging out with. You can tell how they walk, how they listen, how they see, where they're going, how they pay. It tells you so much.
I don't think most people can do that though at 19. That's the difference is like where you go, yeah, you're supposed to do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, right. I think you were able to just like do it.
Well, here's another great thing that I learned, and I think this has continued with me, is the how much music helps. Because even now, all my stuff is, you were talking about voice or something earlier, but all the poems, they're musical. That's why the poems, the prayers, the poems, they're musical. If they can rhyme and have a little rhythm to it, we're digesting them easier. I can dance to that and it's good for me. Oh, the candy is broccoli? Oh, we can sell Sunday morning like a Saturday night? Oh, let's do this. Music. Linklater, you know what Linklater's direction was? He gave all the cast members a cassette tape that he had recorded. He goes, have a listen. I think this is what your character might be listening to. For that to be your homework, 19 years old in the summer, Austin, Texas, New Braunfels floating the river, coming back, partying at pool halls. And what's my homework? Man, I'm going to put in this badass cassette, some Nugent Stranglehold, and hanging out at night. People are playing their tapes on this 70s rock. Is great. And you're listening to it, and it's putting you in a space. It's not telling you what to do. It's putting you in a space, and it's got a rhythm to it.
Do you feel like your part of your like duty is to help filmmakers and writers? Like, I'll take it from here kind of thing. Like, because you're, like I said, you're so charismatic. You're so winning. You're just like, I want to like, anyway, tell me something. So I'm just curious, do you, not like it's like, sit down, I'll go, I'll take it from here. Right. Us good looking people take it. But like your skill set is like movie star. Like, so I'm wondering, do you feel like, oh, I want to help Rick Linklater, or I want to help John Grisham or Joel Schumacher or No, I go in with so much reverence. I have so much reverence for directors. Oh, I don't say it in a disrespectful way. Yeah,
but I mean,
ahead.
I don't. Do I think that I help a filmmaker director be a better director? Yeah. When I'm on the set, I do, because I care about the whole story. And if we're set and agree on sort of tone or measure of excellence or truth, I'll have ideas that I think sometimes they go, oh, yeah, didn't think of that. It may not have anything to do with me. And I'm throwing them out. And everything, when you're on a set, you throw things out. Mm-hmm. It's all for free. One of the biggest compliments is being stolen from on set. I had a good idea. Someone to steal it. It's actually a great compliment. If it can help the scene, if it can help the story, take it, run with it. It's not, no one's adding up. And if someone's got the hot hand with great ideas, keep feeding them. Get 19 in a row, get 20 in a row, get 30 in a row. Wherever they're coming, go with it, man. So my job, I never feel like, oh, I'm the movie star on set. Guys, this is how it goes. I do want to empower that director, especially if it's, say, maybe an independent director. I want to empower other actors as well. But my job, the way I see it, is Nick Pizzolatto, who lives here in town, who a really good friend of mine. He wrote True Detective.
Yep.
And, Rusting Coal.
Nothing is ever over.
I remember our first night meeting in New Orleans where we were shooting a few weeks before shooting. And I'm like, I know this is your guy on paper. He's mine now. He's mine. And we drew blood over it that night. It was a great night. Furniture was broken. It was great.
Like,
great wrestling match.
Intellectually?
Physically.
What? How? It's like, fuck off. Like, what's your angle? What's his angle?
His angle is no, he's mine. I was like, no, he's not. Not
meaning
anymore.
What? Like,
meaning
you're
I will take ownership.
Perfect?
No, I'm laying. No. I'm about to be the bloodline. You put the word on it. Okay. My job, what I do, is now to own this son of a bitch, and he has to become mine, and it will be my bloodline. I will be it. I'm taking it. Now, he was like, what the hell? Bullshit. He's mine. But that's exactly what you want. A creator wants an actor to take it without permission, own it, and let it become a bloodline. Now, does that mean I didn't take direction? No, it didn't mean I didn't take direction. It means I absolutely took direction. I mean, I would still go to him, Nick, what's the core meaning of I'd be in the middle of on camera and stop and go, and the core meaning of this, what does this mean? He'd drop by, hand me a note. Like, yes, that's it. But the actor's job is to take, when it's time between action and cut, we've gone from literary to live action. We've gone from the word on the page to let's see life. Let this emanate. Move. You're the bloodline now. And as much as any actor says, oh, we go off and learn about become that character, that's half the voyage. That's only halfway there, because you get there and then you come back and it's that inside of you. Every actor's doing it personally. So when we do it well, it's a massively personal experience. Are we playing to who we are? No, but we're all playing a part of ourselves. And it's just going out there, then making the second journey back to make it our own. And that's when we get the ownership. And that's when you see a great performance, which you see and you're like, that's who they are. That person was not acting.
Why should I live in history, huh?
That's when we pull it off the best.
Was your prep for that different than anything else you've done? I'm talking about from the depth from what something emanates.
So to understand Rustin Cole's point of view, to understand who he was, to see his realism, and this was the only lines I changed out of that entire, I said,
Look, I'd consider myself a realist, all right? But in philosophical terms, I'm what's called a pessimist.
I stuck to Nick's script so close because it was such hot shit, the writing.
Okay, what's that mean? It means I'm bad at parties.
But to understand the philosophies and get deeper to understand, so then I wouldn't have to act them or sell them or mainly just tell them, not even tell them, just to actually be having a monologue with the universe. And guess what? You happen to hear it, Marty Hart. And it's over there. You, like the audience, are going, what the fuck does that mean? Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And that was, so it was just understanding. It was a character that had such a great monologue and self-identity. Even though you go, I wouldn't want to be in that guy's head. He was so secure with who he was and unrestful with who he was that it was working on understanding the core message, the core linear meaning.
And was it, you'd ask Nick, what the fuck does this mean? He'd give you a book, he'd give you
or he'd send me, a couple of paragraphs, or he'd write himself. Or by the time we got to set, it'd just be a note, a quick little small note. Like, got it. Because we were already, we had worked enough together on that to get to where we had a shorthand.
At the end, was he like, you're right, it's yours now?
Did you say that, Nick? I think you might have. I like to think you did. If you didn't, you still got time. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, no, it is funny where you will go back and forth to somebody and be like, but that's more me than you.
But to get there and to have that ownership, that's what my goal is with every role. I don't get there, though, with every role. Especially I don't get there before we start. Sometimes I find it 2 weeks in. Sometimes I find it 2 months in. Sometimes I don't. I get out of it and I'm like, dude, I just hope I connected the dots. I never felt like I was completely seeing that character from the inside out. Sometimes I'll see the work and go, oh, you were and you didn't know it. Sometimes I'll see the work and go, not quite. Got a triple. You didn't get a home run now.
What do you think a movie star is?
What's a movie star?
Yeah, what's a movie star versus a movie actor?
Yeah.
A friend of mine said, Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out, amazing actor, said, movie stars radiate goodness.
Radiate goodness.
And I think he's right. I think in terms of definition, I think that's maybe the best one I've ever heard.
I just wonder about the word goodness, because when we get into, and it may be part of what better explains a movie star. I've always learned from that mentor, my Penny Allen. It ain't about right and wrong, good or bad. Throw your morality out the frickin' window or leave it in the other room. It's about true or false. Stick with that. Now, that I think is a mathematical equation to go through for work on those bases, true or false, for what can lead to some really good acting and sincere acting that may even make you go, geez, is this a biography? Is this a documentary?
Right.
That's you. Or no one's acting, which for me, is what I think the best acting is, where you can go, that's who they are. Oh my God. Is this based on a true story? No, it's not. Oh my gosh. Well, wow. That's my favorite acting. Goodness. Is there an emanation? Or stardom. Look, Kevin Nash, great wrestler, WWE, came to me and said on Magic Mike, he goes, McConaughey goes, some stars come in and suck all the light out of the room and some stars put more light out. Mm-hmm. He goes, thank you for putting more light out. That was a character, Dallas, in Magic Mike. I don't know if you've seen it, but he was a guy who emanated. He was a bigger than life guy. He emanated out, sometimes evil, but he was a big personality. So I don't know how much that had to do with the role. They have, one, it's an omnipresence about him. It is the larger than life in a certain way. They do have a charisma. Mm-hmm. I believe that, Paul Newman, right? Yeah. Movie star. My favorite movie is HUD. You know what his least favorite movie ever made? HUD. Because he was a prick and he couldn't stand that people loved him in the movie.
You're a good cook. You're a good laundress. What else you good at?
Oh, that's funny.
And he was like, what?
Yeah.
This guy's despicable.
Yeah.
Dude, you gave me that
Sorry,
grin
man.
twice, man. And those blue eyes, I love you for it.
Yep.
Even though you were a bastard. I loved him for it. I went and met him and I was like, that's my favorite movie. And I was like, it is? I was like, yeah, dude. It was like, even though you were a bastard, the fact that I coveted and I was jealous that someone could be so individual, that someone could do the shit you did and still sleep well at night, that someone could be that despicable and still go through life as that much of an individual, to not care about what anyone or the rest of the world. I don't want to be that guy, but boy, I sit over here and applaud that and go, bravo, you. And he was like, shit, I didn't like that guy. I don't know. It pissed me off that everyone did like him.
When you take parts now, do you consider all the other shit you played, or it's meaning when they cut to you, when you enter, however you're introduced?
Yeah.
How's it going, man?
Fuck the clients.
Think about, like, is this different than what I played before? Am I bringing the guy from Interstellar and this guy and that guy? And like, do you consider it?
No. In choosing a part, I recently turned something down and I was like, I understand why you're coming to me with this. I understand why I would be right for this. I understand why I'm the guy for this, but it's too much rehashing something I just did in a character with Free State of Jones was the movie that I kept going. It's so much in that lane that I already covered, and it doesn't feel original enough to go, I can stay in that general lane, but I can find something different that can turn me on. And so I was the reason why I turned it down. But when I'm creating a role, I never think back about what did I do. If anything, Camilla will remind me sometimes, she goes, you have a thing you do that you may not know it, but it's your go-to. Do you want to challenge? She'll ask me, do you want to challenge, thinking that maybe, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but does this character have a different reaction to that? You know, here's one thing. I always do this. Coming upon a crisis, coming upon pain or the unexpected, whether it's a death or something. No. I think I've done that probably 5, 6, maybe more times.
Yep. You sure have.
You just heard me and you've heard me say that in movies, haven't you?
Yep. Yeah.
And I guess it's a musical wind up to get me to a place. But yeah, and I was like, you do that. No.
Put an X through that page.
Or go, is there another way that's true? To have that same feeling, but not verbiate or be verbose in that exact way. But I don't go back and go, I've done this. That'd be probably the only time I've ever done that with that line. And probably still said it. Probably still did it in the scene.
Yeah.
Said fuck it.
You said at the beginning and changed it completely.
Whatever. And it's at the same meter. You do it in the same meter every time. McConaughey. Well, what if I'd say the same thing, make it a different meter? No. Okay. But I don't go back and go, you did this.
Yeah.
Don't do that again. If I get to know the character enough, I'm telling the truth through the POV.
Can you do the thing where because I've heard of actors going, I'll take the part, but I need so-and-so to do a rewrite and give me a couple monologues? You ever done that?
No.
You're aware of it, though? Where they go, I need Tony Gilroy.
I'm aware
it's
of
the thing
it.
movie stars do where they can go, I'm going to need a little rewrite, and then that character ends up with a nice, juicy monologue in the third act.
To be fair, I could, but it's just not my approach to play that movie star card that I actually have in my deck.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I should stand on ceremony a little more sometimes. I could look back and go, you had a role, you kind of faded into the background there. Did you know what I mean? Should you have stood up for going, no, I need something that has me stand on ceremony and really identify my character. That's that kind of role. I just wasn't taught to do that way. That I'm, and what's Morgan Freeman say? A movie star is one thing, but an actor is part of the story.
Yeah.
Want to play that part. There's some truth to that. And I've dabbled. I mean, I've dabbled in some of the movie star stuff, but I also really have a reverence for what the role is and what the actor is. And sometimes where not to be is just as important as where you are. I learned that from Dazed and Confused. Years after watching that film, if you look at the ending again, that was a reshoot. I had just shot for 3 weeks on my first film. They're paying me $325, telling me I'm good today, telling me I'm good at it. I'm like, this is great, man. I'll be in whatever scenes I can be in. At the end of that movie, we're sitting around the football field, about to go get Aerosmith tickets in my car. I'm talking with the guys and the gals and everything, and I said, all right, man, let's load up.
I'm getting my third win. Let's get on the road.
If I remember correctly, I leave the group, go get in my car.
Time to boogie on out of here.
Hey,
Let's do it.
so that's that, huh?
And they continue a scene. And I remember the scene, I walked out, and I was like, oh, they're still talking. Maybe I'll walk back and join the scene. Wooderson would never re-enter. He would have sat in his car, rolled up a dude, put on some tunes, and taken his time, let everyone take as much time as they wanted to get in his car. He would have never reversed or two-stepped. No one else may notice that, but I was like, it's important in where you're not as to where you are.
Well, it's like that would have been good for Matthew and not the character.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's
but definitely not
calculation.
Wooderson.
Yeah.
You know, definitely, he doesn't care where he's not.
But the brand,
Yeah.
Matthew, the brand, like that's the thing where guys will say, do a rewrite on this because it's better for their brand overall.
Here's my main thing that I always look for a rewrite on where it usually needs it. Most scripts, if they need help from Act 2 to Act 3. That's when you into Act 1 to Act 2 is where the conflict is introduced. The end of Act 2 to end Act 3 is where there's a resolution, and now in Act 3 we've got to land the plane. What happens in many, many scripts, even the rom coms, they'll, out of a convenience, give the lead character, have them do something that is out of left fucking field. Like, why did he do that?
Yeah.
That'll be a screw up that'll lead to, oh, well, now we can solve and land the plane. And I'm always like, don't put that on my ass, man. That's a convenience for you as a writer because you didn't know how to land this plane. You want to have someone else screw up to make the land this plane? Don't put it in me because that's bullshit. And while it may help finish this movie, people will be looking going to my character or to me going, what the fuck did you do that for?
Mm-hmm.
That was stupid. That made no sense. And I'm going, don't put that on me. I'm not going to help your convenient. Don't give me a convenient dialogue or screw up that is so out of character for who my man is, so you can land your plane. So let's get in here and figure it out. I'll try and help us figure it out, but I ain't doing it.
Great. You mentioned you could play the movie star card more often, right? Do you find it's a little hard? People's standards for you are lower. And do you find that you have to keep your own standards for your own behavior?
People's standards for me?
For you, just personally, it's like people are just excited to meet you. Or they're excited that you came to the part. That doesn't matter. They're 3 hours late. How did you figure that out?
Well, I embarrassed the shit out of myself once and swore I'd never do it again. It was a film that I haven't watched yet, Scorpion Spring, and I got called in for a role, got offered the part. Not even have to read for it. And I had been in a time where I was not getting the roles. I was getting second, third, fourth call back, but not getting the role. And about a year and a half where I was just getting close. And I was just learning kind of what acting was. And I was getting heady. You know, when you learn something you got the instincts for, there's a bridge where you kind of get too heady about it and you think too much and it's not down in it's not in your body yet. Yep. And I was being conservative in these read-throughs and have that moment of where there's the time to go and I'd pull back. So I was doing just good enough connecting the dots in scenes, but not getting the role. I get offered this role, drug lord south of the border, Texas-Mexico border, middle level drug guy. The coyotes are coming over with his cocaine. The scene is he'll hold them up, steal the cocaine, shoot him, kill him, and come on back. Great, that's all I want to know. I said, I'm not even going to read the script. I'm going back to my Dazed and Confused years, man, where all I needed was the launch pad line, man. And then I just press record, man, and I'll just be the guy, do what he would do. So I decided not to read the script. I decided not even to read the scene. I just got the log line of the scene. I show up the day at work. I'm on my mark. I'm dressed up, got my leather coat, hair slicked back, kind of grimy, typical kind of mid-level drug guy, and I'm right before about to yell, go action. I evidently got a little nervous with my plan. Because my plan was just do what you would do what a guy would do. And I said, can I see the sides for a second? AD comes by and gives the sides, and I open these sides up. And there's page 1. And I flip that, and there's page 2. I flip that, there's page 3. I flip that, there's page 4. And it's a fucking monologue by my guy in Spanish. And I got a little drip of sweat starts
like
up on the back of my neck. And I remember going, can I get 12 minutes? And I remember in my mind, 12 minutes in my mind was not enough time to inconvenience the crew, but enough time to possibly learn a 4-page monologue in Spanish because, hey, I did go to Madrid for 2 weeks in the sophomore year. Might remember. Well, I walk away. I look at this shit. I come back in 12 minutes. It was not enough time. It did not inconvenience the crew, but it was not enough time to learn the damn monologue in Spanish. And I did the scene, and I didn't act like I didn't know it or anything. I spoke in Spanglish. They were like, you want to do that in full Spanish? And I gave some reason like, no, that's not how I want to do it.
The character would never do that.
Yeah. Bullshit. End of day. I get in the car, clean up, and I remember pulling over the side of the road and bawling and beating the shit out of my steering wheel going, I never want to feel that again. You did not prepare. You had some bright bullshit idea. Like, I don't have to look at what it is. I'll just be my man. Great, you keep that. I'll be my man. But you got to do the preparation so you can go call the audible in the game, man. You just show up, wing it. And from that day, I've always been a preparer. I like to be on time. I want more time at the end of the day. If I'm 2 hours late, I'm looking at that as possibly 2 hours later in the day that I don't have time to make some magic happen.
I literally say that all the time. I'm like, if you're late, I get 3 less takes with him.
That's it. That math adds up. That's talk about solvent
resolved,
order.
Yeah.
That's part of it right there. And so I show up and I go about my day. I'm on time. I'm there for other actors. I know my shit. And that is my way of being a movie star.
How about personally?
Okay.
Meaning people's personal standards for you. Some get higher. Some get higher. Some people, like, they're a little mad. You're missing, and they hold you. And some are like, any scrap, I'll take it. And then you have to decide, you have to try to remember, what was it like before? How was that?
Okay. Early on, it was a bit awkward. Like when I first got famous in the years after Time to Kill and the years of the Rom Coms even, there was an amount of I love yous, caviar, and champagne coming my way that I was like, this is bullshit. I don't deserve it. I don't want it. It's mendacious. It's I'm gonna fuck something up just to sober up this situation to level me, because this is just too much. Well, I didn't feel like I could handle it. Didn't feel like I deserved it. Didn't feel like I'd earned it. Didn't know why it was there. Didn't even know if I even liked caviar or champagne or not. You know what I mean? But so I was a little destructive, not overly destructive. Never got into drugs and never got into harming people or anything like that. But I tripped myself running downhill quite a few times and bloodied my own nose in places where it was like, you don't have to make it that hard, McConaughey. Later on and now, and for the past, say, since the, for the past 15, 16 years, probably around the time I met who's now my wife, that probably helped.
Not like she keeps you in order, but it's
that keeps me in order. Just, good woman, man. It helps you believe more in who you know you are, and my own measure for me, I believe, is higher than anyone else's. I hold myself to a standard where I'm seeing things that may be false that no one else is seeing. I'll notice things, like I'm saying. I'm going back looking at the engineering of when I raised my voice. What happened that I had to even raise my voice? So my threshold's pretty quick for going, that's not up there. Sometimes, do I over micromanage that? Probably. Miss the forest for the trees sometimes, sure. But I know if I'm going to do the math that my pursuit of that, a perfection, or my pursuit of an excellence, of which I always come up short on, got me a lot further. And I performed better or more truly because I was going for that. It's a little, the tongue-in-cheek way of saying it is what I do in this Poems and Prayers. Rather go for an A and make a C than shoot for C and make an F. I'm always shooting for the A+.
Yeah.
The challenge is when reality comes in under that, which it usually always does, how quickly can I sober up and go, well, still, you wouldn't have got that high if you would have been shooting for that much. And so I call it oversight. I try to oversee myself. I try to oversee others. I try to oversee every film I'm part of. I've said this many times, and I do not mean this as a put down at all. It's a major compliment. I've never done one film or played one role that lived up to my expectation. And those ones, I'm not saying I could have done them any better, or directed them any better, or someone else could have played the role better. But it was never omnipresent, mystical, magic, life force. This changes the way the fulcrums of the universe work. It was never divine.
Even True Detective, even Dallas Buyers, even the ones that were, you could make a case they were.
Yeah. I already see spots in each one of those where I go,
Your performance?
Yeah.
Is there a mistake that's consistent? It's just like, you just wouldn't, you weren't in that.
It usually happens on a Monday. And somewhere on that weekend, I either over leveraged or got in my complacency, let myself get out of my routine and had a small percentage of the haze creep in on the dream that wasn't out of my system by Monday. Now, that may be something I did that I'm regretting. That may be something I said. That may be an extra drink. That may be sitting down Sunday to go over my week's work 2 hours later than I usually do. Somewhere I jumped out of the absolute rote, mechanical, militant.
You gave yourself the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
No.
You got to stand by the principles.
Yeah.
Hey, do I look like I smell good? Like, do you know what I mean? Like when you look at me, you go, I bet Neal smells good. I kind of do, but it's not, I'm not like a cologne guy. I'm just a solid deodorant guy. And then maybe I'll use a decent shampoo or hair cleaning product that will give it a little extra scent. It's fall's here, and they want me to say a bunch about for the fall and like how I'm out hunting and I'm playing and I'm in the bluff and I'm riding my horse. I'm not. I'm in New York and LA. I'm a coastal elite. Wouldn't be likable unless you like my opinion. I get that. But I wear deodorant, guys. And it's the deodorant I wear is Mando. And that's true. I'm not going to read this verbatim, but I'm going to tell you what I like most about Mando. It smells good. That's what I'm looking for in a deodorant. It reduces the sweat and it smells good. It smells good or it smells like nothing. Okay? That's what I'm looking for. And Mando delivers all of it. There are times when it smells like nothing. There's times when it smells good, but it always controls the sweat. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for my listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code NEAL at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide, plus free shipping. That's shopmando.com, plus support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. Have a great pod. Hope you're having a blast during this one. Man, what a blast. I don't even know which one this is going to be in, but I bet it's good. And I bet we cut away right just at the scintillating time. And now we're going back. I want to talk about God. Because you mentioned a church earlier, and then you mentioned in the book that you had a condomblé minister from Africa come to your wedding.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Do you see a difference in any? I mean, I'm kind of the mind where I'm like, it's all the same God. Like
Right.
the fact that we're arguing over who and what land, it's silly to me. Where are you with this?
I believe it's the same God if there's a God. There's many different, as my pastor puts it, there's many different trains to the station. I am not in any way ready to, not more than that, I'm not ready to. I believe it's false. When our religions, they're great until they they start excluding. You know, I'm not ready to say, okay, so you're born again Christian. I'm with you if all of Africa is going to die because they're Muslim. They don't have a chance to get where we're going. I mean, I'm not buying that. I'm not going to purchase that. Even before I went and spent time and have wonderful Muslim friends, I got no problem with the 10 Commandments being in school, but why not just make a prayer time, and whatever your religion is, if you want to bow to Allah, you can do it in that time as well.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has a problem with the 10 Commandments. I think they got a problem with the author, because that's been exclusionary. And we've made it a business, and along the way have bastardized religions to cause wars, and we fight and lie and cheat and steal and they make money for it. And there's crooks that are selling it in God's name. And there's a lot of reasons to go, fuck that. I hope we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, so therefore that's why religion sucks, or I'm not religious.
Right.
My hunch is that most of these people that say, oh, I'm just spiritual, are actually religious, just don't want to go that far to say it or believe it. I like to bring this up, which is because I'm a prescriptionist with this, and I do believe it's valuable to go back and go look at the origin of words and meanings before we just take them on to be how we've defined them. Religion comes from the Latin root re-legare. Legare means to bind together. Re means again. Well, every spiritual person that I'm talking to, that's what they're talking about. Unity. It's bind together here. That's the definition of religion. We've taken it, mankind's taken it and warped it and bent it and made it into things that I don't believe that God is proud of at all. And I don't believe Jesus is proud of it. I don't believe Muhammad's proud of it. In post haste, in wherever they are, I don't believe they are. So that's been us doing that. So let's not throw it out because we bastardized it. I have I'm really working and playing and trying to merge, as you see in this book, that the candy is the broccoli. It's not just make the broccoli the good stuff in life taste like candy. The broccoli is what's good for us. It is the candy. I have a poem in here about heaven or not, and how someone who's in misery, they don't have the privilege to project into the future and say, oh, well, I'll make decisions, sacrifice now so I can get them in the future. What are you talking about? I'm trying to pay my damn rent and put food on the table tonight. You talk to me about that luxury you got of making choices to sacrifice for later on? Well, good for you. People in misery don't have that. But heaven or not, if we live like there is heaven and according to chase a divinity in ourselves and try to be more God-like, that's the best way to get out of misery while we're here that I know of. So if you want to get unstuck, whether there's a heaven or not, there's a lot we can get from religion to go, it can get me unstuck. The best formula to get unstuck now, here. So if there's an afterlife, which I hope there is, I don't know if there is, but I'm talking about how poems and prayers, which are ideals that may not be real, are what can help us here in the living, practical life, mortal one that we're in right now. So it's not all just for, well, if I do it, then I got the best chance. Then.
Yeah. It's not self-interest. It's not.
It is, but it can serve you in this life, heaven or not.
Yeah. You had an interesting turn of phrase, which was a egotistical utilitarian. Yeah. What does that mean?
So I wrote a paper on that in college. Egotistical utilitarian. I was like, that's the oversoul, like Nietzsche's oversoul. That's Superman, where what you do for self, the most selfish belief, act, behavior you can have, there's a place where that decision and that action and that choice is actually what's the best for the utilitarian for the most amount of people. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm trying to change the definition of selfishness. I think true selfishness is not doing something for yourself right now that harms your neighbor. Because now they're letting the robbers get in your house when you're out of town. What's more selfish? Doing the choice that's good for you and also good for your neighbors. So now when you leave town, they're watching over and they're calling the police when the robbers pull up. I think the second choice is a lot more selfish. Things that we want to do for our future. It's more selfish to spend it all now and just run up the budget and tear up the climate and everything so our kids are fucked later. I don't know. Is that more selfish or more selfish to do what we can now So have ours, so our kids' future have a better chance to have a better future. I would say if you got children, you'd be saying the second choice is a more selfish choice.
Yeah.
So that's the egotistical utilitarian. I'm not sure, this talk about kill the ego. We have to have judgment. And I know there's a difference. We have to have identity to have judgment. Or you don't have judgment. If you don't have identity if you don't have judgment.
Yeah.
Right? So I wish people were more self-involved or more involved with themselves. So I don't
there might be
term.
more of that calculation in terms of like behavior and what is it, what am I actually doing here? Not just like, I'm hungry, I want to fuck it. It's just like, what's the...
Well, give your choice a little context of what is going for yourself. What choice? We talked about them earlier in the conversation. What choice right now is going to tee me up for more freedom, pleasure, harmony tomorrow?
Yeah.
There are choices and maybe small sacrifices to make for, and tomorrow's going to be a breeze because I'll make this, or I got the best chance for it to be a more of a breeze and more self-satisfying and more harmonic with those I love if I make this choice now, even though I'm making a small sacrifice. What's better ROI? What's the more selfish choice? If we have any projection, what is one thing we always want to teach our kids? Delayed gratification, man.
Yeah.
We're still got to learn that as adults more than I keep learning myself and everybody. We're still got to learn that. Project a little further than tonight. Kids don't understand that concept. We try to teach them that, but adults, we're not doing that. And there's a place where the best choice for you now can pay you back the most later. I got that poem in there, forgive me, Father, for I know what I do. Not the I don't know what I do. The I know I did it, and I did it fucking again.
Yeah.
And I'm a repeat offender.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I got a little trouble believing that I can just go every Sunday and go, forgive me for my sins. Okay, we're clear. Cool. I'm going to go back and do it again. I got a little trouble with that. I'm going, no, man. God wants our hands on the wheel, man. Fate and free will. When I had my agnostic years where I went off and it's on me, and came back to God years later, I heard God clapping, going, thank you for the courage to think you could do it yourself. I need more like you with hands on the wheel, man. I got a lot of people out there just relying on fate. Inshallah. Hey, no, thank you. I need more sweat equity for you guys. You know what I mean? And I think that's the combination that those two, again, are not contradicting. Self-reliance and faith. Boom, we're told those go right in the face of each other. And in ways they can. I don't think ultimately they're supposed to.
McConaughey, why you?
Why me?
When everybody says, why is this happening to me? Why is this bad thing happening to me? Why is all this seeming good stuff happening to you? Have you thought about it? I know you have.
I tried to put some science to satisfaction? Yeah. Have I tried to write down, make mantras of Ben Franklin my way to going, there's a way to engineer this too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But I'll tell you this. In writing Green Lights, I thought that 90% of my successes were engineered.
By you?
Until I wrote it. And I went back and read it. And I was like, no, buddy, it's about 15%. The other 85, wasn't no science to them. That's apparent. They were mystical. They were, you were in the right place, right time. You, took an opportunity, but you ran into her to be in that spot, to meet her, to do this thing. You took that chance when you were in that room at that moment, and that window of opportunity shut right after you took it. Woo, glad you got in there when you did. But did I make choices there? A lot of them were unchosen to get to that position. So I think the two are interlaced. I think they play with each other in the same way we were talking about self-reliance and faith, or free will and faith. I don't know. I don't know though. I don't leave conversations like this and go get in my car on my own and become someone different. I don't go away and think, I do not think ugly of people. I never have. I can disagree. I can go, that person's an asshole. But I don't think, I just never have thought ugly. I don't wish ill will on people. I don't. Do I believe some people need harsh consequences? Yeah. Do I believe some people are beyond rehabilitation? Yes. But, gosh, dog, man, I don't know. I say to these people that don't believe in rehab, I'm like, you got a pet? Like, yeah. Where'd you get them? We got them at the pound. You believe in rehab then, man? You know what I mean? You ever moved in a house that you didn't build and it turned out to be a home? Yeah. Well, then you believe in rehab. You rehabbed it. You can do it. And we don't need to quit believing in rehab. I think the one thing we got to make sure is that the person, when it comes to people, the first thing someone does when you forgive them, if they come to you and go, I'm sorry, I did you wrong. Neal, I did you wrong. And if you go, Matthew, I forgive you. First order of business is for me to change whatever behavior I got to change to not have to come say I'm sorry again. I got to take that on me as the offender. You gave me that freedom. But if I come back and do it to you again, maybe you can forgive me, but man, don't trust me. I wish more of us, more times would understand that, hey, it's my order of business if I can, one, to be able to be forgiven, to forgive, but also to have someone go, well, now it's not even money. I know I got to watch myself so I don't have to come to you and apologize again for the same damn thing. Again, that forgive me, Father, for I know what I do. It's like, come on, man, break a sweat. It's going to take some effort. And I think that most of us probably pull the parachute a little too quickly. I think most of us turn away from the sun because somebody tells us that we're close enough that the wax is melting on our wings when actually it's 55 degrees, bro. You still got your beanie on. Wax ain't close to melting. Keep flying. Don't choke now. What are you getting nervous for? We're just tipping into the 11%. We got a long way to go, man. Raise the roof. And in doing so, truthfully, is not becoming more only self-serving at the exclusion of everyone else. It's not disregarding what your neighbor. No, it's having the confidence to be able to respect oneself, to respect someone else even more, to appreciate what one can do, so you can be thankful for what somebody else does more. That's true selfishness, I believe.
Do you think more people could have a life as rewarding as yours if they? I feel like you're trying to model something for people.
I'm trying to model. Look, part of what I'm doing talking to you, part of the reason why I wrote this book is this is a spiritual therapy for me. Doubt was creeping in on me, man. Too much for my comfort. Started to get a little cynical, objectifying people, looking down my nose at them.
Recently?
Yeah, last couple of years. Looked around, turned on the TV, listen to the news, watch what leaders are doing, and I'm going, oh, there you go. There's reason.
Yeah.
So I said, fuck, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to quit looking at the evidence. Let me flip the script and try to look up higher and believe. Don't get so old that you forget, believe in those ideals that they're out there, whether you can achieve them or not, still chase them. I'm not going to get them. No one of us is going to become God. But boy, that's part of the proclivity to imitate, is part of what worship and prayer and belief is about. And we all got it in. We all got the sacred in us. We all got what are we? Full of every day. Our head. Man, we got weeds. It ain't no Autobahn between our heads and our heart. It's a rocky road and it's one way and it's covered in rocks and potholes and weeds. I'm saying we got to tend that garden. I'm not saying everyone's got to have, let's just have a little two-factor authentication here between the old rhythm here that's in the heart and the rhyme that's in the heart and the reason that's in the head. Instead of just the reason and just the logic at whatever consequence, no matter who it screws over. No, does it matter how you do it? You're damn right it matters how you do it. And how many more jackpots are we giving out to the people who win, whether they even if they lied, cheated, and stole to get there? I'm not ready to go, that's just the way it is. I hope the world's not ready to go, well, that's just the way it is. And that's part of what got me putting the words down, because I started saying that to myself. Well, maybe that's just the way it is, McConaughey.
Yeah.
And then I woke up in the middle of the night going, bullshit. First scared of that and then pissed at it. And so, man, I don't know why me and as my life, I don't know, has it been blessed? Have I helped build some blessings in my life? Yeah. Have I been given gifts that I don't even know I've been given? Have people reached out and helped me out that I don't even know their name and know if they did? Yep. You also have a lot of people that I know did. I saw it, that I could be a better friend to and thank them for. I also, I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm not afraid of dying. I feel like, my belief is that that's a comma.
Yeah.
Not a period. I don't know. My belief is that. And if there's not, I know I'm not ever going to regret living away believing that it was possible. Because it's helped me here.
You want to read? Give me a little something.
Yeah, man.
I like the
Which one do you like?
page 19 from More Love Affair
Page 19.
to the end of 20.
Oh, talking about prayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
More love affair than mandate. Prayer is devotion more than responsibility. Devoid of false idols of our superstitions, prayer is a moral yearning to our own elevated conscience. The pattern and practice of prayer starts as a secret, then becomes a conscious light on the path that shows us the way to becoming our more competent and true selves. And personally, I begin my prayers with gratitude. I try to smile upon my blessings, try to humble my selfish desires. I try to remember that in God's economy, service serves me. I pray for guidance to do all that I can as a husband and a father for the mental, physical, and spiritual health of my family. And then I take a stroll down the Rolodex of my memories lane, and I take inventory of all those I love and care for in my life, until I see them with my mind's eye at a time when they were most themselves, not happiest or most proud, not saddest or most reflective, but when they were no one else but themselves and their light shone brightest, where they were in their own state of grace, satisfied and content. And that's when I lock in on this image of them in my mind, and I pray for that in them in perpetuity. Next comes the hardest part, trying to see myself the same way. But I pray until I do, rolling through the frames of my own past until a true image of myself becomes clear. Then I concentrate on that likeness, embrace it, thank it, and open up to letting it fill me. Then I say, Amen. Like two hands in worship, poems and prayers interlace, dancing with our soul and song to the music we must face. I write poetry because I believe life rhymes. For more meaning is why I pray. And when the rhyme matters and the meaning's in verse, it's a heaven-sent parlay.
Matthew McConaughey, ladies and gentlemen, the book is called Poems and Prayers. He was a hand model. Show him the hands, would you?
Now, the nails are a little short.
Give him the nails.
All
That's
right.
where
So,
those are nice hands.
Austin, Texas, went and saw an agency, and she goes, you got nice hands. You quit chewing your nails. I could maybe get you a hand modeling job. I quit chewing my nails that day, and about 2 weeks after that, I got a job for Al's Formal Wear. There's a newspaper with a hand on a cummerbund, and it's mine. And I got paid $295 for that.
Pretty good day's work. Matthew McConaughey again. Show him the teeth, Matt. Nice teeth as well. Better in person. Better in person than I would have thought. It's nice to be able to just request it. All right. Great talk, buddy.
Loved it.